Excuse me, we'd like you to have this flower.
Excuse me, sir, would you...
Donation to the Reverend Moon?
Juice for Jesus?
I want it to be known that Corey's the first one to punch.
How about Buddhism?
Kind of offended by the random hot dog.
Jerry's kids?
Oh, yeah.
Scientology?
Or nuclear power?
Oh, I need to take that hot dog down. Subscribe. Speaking of hot dog, Parrothead sent me something that I can only play on Rumble, but it is hilarious.
That's usually how it goes with Parrothead.
Oh, he's got some stuff that's been okay, but it's been stuff I can't.
Did you guys see the new rules that YouTube's getting ready to implement?
Oh, no, I did not. What
They are implementing basically community notes from Twitter.
Oh, that.
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah.
Which means all of our videos could just be review bombed by people that don't like our opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how that's going to work.
It's going to be a mess.
you got to make a push.
It's gonna be a really great thing for Rumble, though.
Well, I think that what they're not taking into consideration is it works both ways.
Yeah.
So we can push back on the lefties pretty hard.
I bet they're going to try to temper that, though.
Maybe. Good possibility.
They'll probably only use official fact checkers still
Yeah,
to start it, and then you can up, down, or up or down vote the fact check.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know.
Twitch got rid of their fact checking council.
Twitch did?
Twitch did, yeah. So that person identified as a deer that was on that and all that stuff gone.
I thought she was like a community manager.
Yeah, that's what it started out as. But I think that after the whole thing happened, and it's actually he.
Yeah, it's Deerkin.
Yeah,
person.
He ended up getting he was just at that point in time too hot to touch. So I think they kind of shoot him away quietly.
What's next?
They're all around me, government lies. They're spreading like flies, misinformation. They want us blind, but I won't be fooled. I'm not standing in line. It's on the screen and online. It's hard to believe what is the lies. They're twisting the truth, trying to deceive us. But I won't be brainwashed, my mind won't be sold. Gotta break the chains, I'm taking back control of my way. Misinformation.
You know what's funny? Him falling up those stairs was back when he was actually in better shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I thought was funny was like what we were saying. Oh, he's just picking up quarters.
It's a deep fake.
No, it's a cheap fake.
Cheap fake, yes, it's cheap fake.
Or maybe his youngest granddaughter that he doesn't acknowledge stepped on a crack.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah. I need to update that video because there's been this last couple weeks have been so good on the biting. I'm not gonna say gaffes because they're not gaffes. I mean, they're just him being old and
Making fun of a senile old man.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. it's funny the lengths that they're going to go through to kind of like defend him now, calling these videos that show him not being tip top as cheap fakes, which I find very fascinating. Here's the rest of the panel, by the way. Hello, welcome back, Brandon. Good to see you again, man.
Hey, good to be back. I am dark.
You are dark.
In celebration of Juneteenth, I've decided to make myself darker.
Insert blackface joke here.
Jimmy Kimmel, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to admit, Jimmy Kimmel's impersonation of Karl Malone is classic.
I can't say I actually
That
seen
was
it.
back when he was funny,
Yeah.
Back when he was funny.
and also when he had Adam Carolla as like his.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the Man Show that he did that on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, the Man Show was pretty fucking great.
Show was
It was
so-
awesome,
You can't do that shit now, man.
Ziggy Saki. Oi,
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then
And
when
that
he
show-
did the first late night shows, they didn't have anybody that would come over because it was him and Adam Carolla.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person that would come on as guest host is Snoop Dogg. So Snoop Dogg was a guest host for like 2 weeks. Snoop Dogg's baked. They were drinking quote unquote goat's milk. And then they brought a deep fryer on, okay, and were pulling people's watches and wallets while they were drunk, out of the crowd and deep frying them.
Jesus Christ.
It
What?
was hilarious. Yeah, the first couple of weeks of Jimmy Kimmel Live were really funny. And then Hollywood ate him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say what the fuck happened?
I just, you know,
Yeah, how do you go from being like the Man Show guy
today.
Yeah.
to what he is like crying on air over Obamacare?
Yeah, it's like, how did you go from like having women called the juggies that are jumping on a trampoline with big tits to
You date Sarah Silverman for multiple years, and that'll do it.
Well,
is,
yeah, I
is
mean,
that what happened? He dated her?
Yeah,
they were
he did.
together
For a
for
long time.
years and years.
If
Damn,
you ever
Jordan
see the
dropped
their breakup actually ended up being a really funny thing because she made a video called I'm fucking Matt Damon,
Oh, yeah.
which was absolutely hysterical. And so Jimmy Kimmel came back with a video. It was actually really funny. What oh god.
Yeah, I'm fucking Ben Affleck.
I'm fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. They,
They
were
were
still
funny.
together when they were doing that, but she was expecting him to ask her to marry him, and he came in and said, "I don't want to see you anymore," and walked out.
Whoa.
Yeah, something happened. Well, his son needed the heart transplant, and that affects you, right? When you got a baby and stuff, and that was with the new wife. Because he had to drop his first wife to go with Sarah Silverman, and they dropped Sarah Silverman to go with the current wife that he has now, and then they had the baby and had the heart problems. So,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
that's
used to like him.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. When the Man Show years, he was fucking hilarious.
When Ben Stein's money.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, was talking to the guy in his prime that knew. It's like having daily filming taping sessions with Thomas Sowell. With Ben Stein. So
Well,
Yeah.
it's been his former partner in crime, Adam Carolla. That show that he's doing over on Daily Wire, the animated one, is actually funny.
yeah.
Well,
We've
Adam
watched all
Carolla.
of the
If
episodes,
Adam
and it's
Carolla's
funny.
writing, that would make sense because the dude's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
that's
last
great.
comedian I saw live, and he was actually pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So Brandon, what are your thoughts on this whole cheap fakes thing? I mean, this what like happened like starting Monday?
Okay,
And
first
this
off,
is like a recent development, isn't it?
I gotta say the cheap I can remember back when like during the Obama administration where the media was actually coming up with some pretty great bangers in terms of narrative control and like things that you can remember and fire off, and they would like dominate the conversation. Any conversation you went into, it was like a George Stephanopoulos line, right? Now they're coming out with cheap fakes, and all I can think is like, bro, that is some DEI higher shit right there. That is
Well,
the worst. Cheap fakes is one of when I first heard it, I literally thought it was a Corinne Jean Pierre thing. You guys actually told me it wasn't. A Corinne Jean Pierre thing. She meant to say deep fakes, but she actually said cheap fakes. I thought it was an accident. And it was just like the media was like, fuck, all right, we got to run with that. Let's go.
No,
Well,
I think
the-
it was fed from the Washington Journal.
No,
I think.
yeah,
Or
no, I'm
Washington
learning
Post, one or the other.
Well, the funny thing about it is that whenever they come up with something like fake news was started by the mainstream media, and that was something that Trump took and appropriated and ran with. This is another one of those things because, like, what Tim Pool pointed out is like the deceptively edited videos that Joe Biden puts out, like the whole thing with him challenging Trump to the debate. That's a cheap fake because,
yes,
I mean, it was
Heavily
like edited 16 times to get the man to speak coherently. And it's like
jump cuts were crazy.
This is going to be
30-second
used
video,
against them pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, like you saw, like especially it's all over Twitter. I mean, like the whole when he was on stage with Jimmy Kimmel, he wasn't having any hard time. He was only pausing because someone in the front row was yelling at him and he was trying to hear it. And he was no wait, he was soaking in the crowd. That's what it was. Obama was just, they're chummy. They're being chummy, and he was just walking with them off stage. That's all that was. I mean, those were literal lines that were being thrown at us.
Oh, yeah. No. And I have a video I want to play. This is something I was looking for last week, but completely missed it. But I'll play it now because it is a perfectly good example of what we were talking about with Joe Biden's brain just malfunctioning. And this was from the Juneteenth celebration that they had. I guess it was like
Saturday, I think.
No, it was like last week. And where I was talking about how he has his hand out, like he wants to shake someone's hand. Now I'm going to turn the music off because, we're on YouTube.
You want me to sing?
But just look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
Jesus loved the little children.
He looks so fucking lost.
He's gone, dude.
Look how he looks home. He wants to shake hands with somebody. Because there's a point in time where Kamala looks over at him and she's kind of like making his face of like, what the fuck are you doing, Joe?
Yeah.
And he just like,
she's downwind.
Yeah.
All right. She's downwind. That's the problem.
Yeah. No. Yeah. She notices him and she's kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna pretend like none of this shit's going on. He just looks massively confused.
And let's not forget that he grew up in a black church, according to him.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And this is what they would call a cheap fake. And no, he's soaking in the crowd, right, guys? He's soaking in the crowd.
God, who's he pointing to? It's like he doesn't know no one's home.
He's wanting to shake the guy's hand next to him or something.
But he's not looking at the guy next to him.
No, he's just
no, he never looked at anybody. Yeah, when he's got his hand out. Yeah.
He's just gone. And it feels so bad. It's like we can see this right in front of our face.
Yes.
And y'all saw on stage Obama grab his wrist and shake it slightly.
Cheap fake.
All cheap fake. All cheap fake, right?
This is all cheap fakes. It's don't believe your lying eyes. That's the thing I find so disturbing about all this shit.
That line that you just said right there, y'all have read 1984, right?
Totally have.
The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. They're literally telling you, don't believe what you just saw.
Yep.
Because what you saw isn't real.
I know it's cliche to bring up 1984 all the time, but seriously, this is what this shit is.
It's. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like they're using it as a playbook. Their problem is that like they can't reinforce it through fear. Like they can't make us do double think, which is exactly what they're trying to do right now. Yeah, you just saw that.
The left suffers from it though. That they're the ones that are suffering from double think, and that was like the whole thing with 1984. It was the people that belonged to the party because the proles, as they called them, proletariat. They weren't subject to the party rules because they were basically the poor, and nobody cared about them. They had no power, so they were mainly going after the people that belonged to the party, and that's what this is all about. Your average Democrat that is a member of the party is the one who suffers from doublethink when they see this shit. Just look at the Krasensteins and how they defend all this garbage.
Yes.
That's the doublethink.
No, absolutely. Yeah. They know it's right in front of their face, but they have to tell them. So they have to convince themselves that what they're seeing isn't what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And they get pissed at us for not going along with their delusion, which is very common in radical leftism,
Yep.
Are we on YouTube right now?
We're on Yelling at Park Cars. We're not on the main channel, but so like if we say something and
well,
that channel gets nuked, it's not like a huge deal.
Kind of like transgenderism.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other things that I think that only a few people have pointed out that I've heard is with the Obama thing. That was absolutely him showing his authority.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it may have been
Yes.
him trying to get Joe off the stage, but it was also, I'm Obama. I can guide the guy off the stage, and I can make him disappear if I want him to. That's the
Yep.
signal that they're sending to the Democrat Party that, we're going to have to yank this guy out of there.
He's the one that tells Hillary Clinton who has dirt on her. That's how powerful he is.
He's the one. He has
So-
information that could put Hillary Clinton in jail, and he's alive.
Yep.
Exactly. That's stud muffin right there.
So one thing that I want to play, which is absolutely hilarious, it's from the Citizens Free Press. This is great. Hi, Tabitha.
Can you take a question on the U.S. Africa Summit? Can you take a question on the U.S. Africa Summit? Karel, why is it so hard to take a question on the U.S. Africa Summit?
Oh no, this is
when
not.
the
Sorry, this is not
president
the.
did 50 af-
It's a different one. Sorry, my bad, folks. This is actually an older video that we've played before. I'll let it run. But there's another one where they basically used AI for creating Jean-Pierre's voice, and it's so funny. But we'll just finish this real quick.
The biggest guardian of leaders of his administration. Why is it hard for you to give me a question?
It is not hard. I've answered. Would you let me answer the question, or are you going? Okay.
You don't give us questions.
Okay. I'm trying to answer your question. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Again, I just tried. You wouldn't let me. Go ahead.
No, but can
I just tried, and you would not let me, sir. So your colleague is going to ask a question. Go ahead.
ask you a question.
No, I literally just tried to answer your question. You shut me down. So now your colleague is going to.
Let me take the question first before
Okay.
you answer.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oldie but goodie.
I need that video.
There's another one from the Citizens Free Press,
Oh my
which is
goodness.
fucking hilarious because they redubbed the audio for it, and it's just hilarious. And I need to see which group that it was in. Somebody vamp for me, please.
Meanwhile,
Hey.
Brandon's Matt Walsh glasses are bugging him.
Go fuck yourself.
Somebody's a bit testy. Okay, now I found it.
Nothing
Somebody
My
also
chat,
knows
my
I'm
chat's
always
been
in
getting
his
on to me
chat.
because I'm wearing these blue light blocker glasses now because I
Oh,
found
they're
out-
great.
Thank you. They've been
You're
giving me like the blue light from screens has been giving me a headache. So, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go
That's
right
in the
ahead.
background.
Comics was making mistakes.
Oh, so anyway, I put them on, and my chat started telling me that I look like Matt Walsh. And whenever I put us side by side, it was kind of scary.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah.
Especially
The
without
thing
the
is,
hat.
you have a sense of humor.
Yeah. And you're actually funny too.
Oh, thanks, guys.
No, you're welcome.
I
Okay.
wouldn't go
And
that
I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation. Take, for instance, this video where the president is clearly trying to pick up a quarter that he found, multiple quarters. He probably found multiple quarters, and he wanted to pick them all up. But Republicans just keep lying. I mean, the president just loves picking up quarters from the ground, you know? And President Obama is not ignoring Joe in this video. They're actually playing a game where they pretend like they can't hear each other. Totally normal stuff, you guys. And he's not asleep in this video, you guys. He's just practicing his deep meditation. Oh, and this time he didn't shit his pants. He just saw a Japanese guy and decided to say hi in Japanese. Okay, this time he thought he saw a tiger and wanted to protect the group of world leaders, you know. So even though everyone treats him like he's retarded, he's not actually retarded. Okay, that is misinformation. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
That's just
That is.
classic.
I don't care what anyone says, man. I'm so ready for AI.
And I think
Okay, so this is the one for the Citizens Free Press, which is fucking hilarious because it's so spot on.
Oh,
ladies
shit.
and gentlemen, if you will, look right here. Okay, so you did not see Biden
I like how it
wandering
gave her
around
man hands.
aimlessly, freezing up, shitting himself, sniffing dignitaries, falling asleep, drinking drug cocktails, and frisking serving girls. What you actually saw were cheap fakes. It's like a deep fake, but it's just the real video that we don't want people to see. Oh, and I am a black lesbian. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good. It's so
Oh,
good.
yeah, it's fucking accurate, which is the sad part.
I mean,
man,
it's obvious I'm not voting for this guy, but
why
I
not,
really-
Tox? What's wrong?
I really would like to have a choice that's under 65. I really would.
Yeah, it would be
at
nice,
this
right?
point. But I don't think we're going to get that because what I'm seeing out of the younger generations is they are staying stupid longer. When you don't have life experience that slaps you in the face at a young age, right, and teaches you humility and, okay, I need to save for a rainy day and all that kind of stuff, you don't have the life experience to make good choices later on in life. So we protect our kids. And 18, I was out the door.
Yeah, I was too.
Right? And now it's 26. That's 8 years.
Whose fault is that? I mean, that sounds like the fault of the parents at this point.
It's school.
I think it's multiple. I think it's multiple things.
Yeah, it's
But
I think
college,
it's the parents. College is actually
they
infantilized.
wanted to get you into doing the 4-year degree and then doing the master's and staying on campus. And you have a whole bunch of Van Wilders that spend 6, 7, 8 years in school.
And then I would also say that the internet has brought on a culture that almost demands you stay young and immature, you know?
Right.
I think it does. But I have noticed something. I think it does apply being like trying to stay that young or being put in that situation for a longer. I think it does something to you that ages you faster. Not mature. I'm talking about like the stress that it brings upon you is
Wears
almost
your
like
body out faster.
I think it does. They say that Gen Z is actually aging faster than millennials, and I think that's absolutely true. I mean, if you look at the way Gen Z people look like they're older than me, a millennial
most of the
at
20-year-olds look like
Really?
they're 40.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
there's-
crazy.
There's
Yeah,
a whole video thing about it. I mean,
yeah,
there's
it's weird.
like Reddit, a whole Reddit subsection about
Yeah, it's really
Zoomers
strange how
looking
fast Gen Z
older
is.
than the- yeah.
Part of it, I think there is something to be said for a lot of the chemicals and stuff that we're, ingesting and whatnot, and that they've been ingesting and like rubbing on their face or whatever. But I also think that there is a psychological component to it where you have this generation who, not unlike millennials, we millennials know what a world is like without the internet, right? We were there before it was all there, so we had a childhood. Gen Z didn't. Gen Z was always online. They were always in front of a camera. They were always having to live their best life and perform in front of everyone else, and I kind of look at that and I'm like, it kind of like some of the stress that it puts on their brains. I think you kind of see them being more LGBT, which is oftentimes a trauma response. Being gay or lesbian or bi or trans is often a trauma response.
Right.
You see that more than ever. You see them, kind of gravitate more toward like the crazy or like emotional side of things, I should say. And I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of child actors. You know how they kind of went a little nuts. I think they kind of share
Always
that.
being in the
Yeah.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they're also far more sedentary than we were, or at least a good chunk of them are, because they're always in front of a screen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree that I think there's multiple factors to it. Being terminally online is not helpful. It's part of the reason why I don't pay as much attention to Twitter, because that can become unhealthy.
Yes.
Very unhealthy. Especially if you're a bit on the OCD side, like I am, and I get into a fight with somebody or a group of people or an entire community. Yeah, it's like it gets to the point where it's like you just keep having to respond. And it's like there's a point where you're like, dude, fucking stop. Okay. It's 4:00 in the morning. You're getting nowhere. This is pointless. You're just repeating the same arguments with other people.
You don't go to Twitter to win an argument.
No, you don't. It's funny too, because like Epic Mike made this post about The Boys season 4, and I replied back with, I was like, it's always been garbage. It's like the comic's better. And all these people, oh no, this must be parody, all this shit. It's like I don't know, first off, are these people bots or not? Or they just like legit fucking The Boys defenders? Because the show is garbage. I mean, and some people were like posting images from the comic. It's like, yeah, I read it. I know what you're talking about. One was the whole thing where Homelander, because in the comic, Homelander's the one who basically goes to Starlight and says, suck my dick, rather than the Deep. Because that's what happens in the show. It was the Deep. And yeah, so I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
The thing, about Twitter is like I said, you don't go there to win arguments because no one's there to learn anything. No one's there to have a civilized conversation with people who disagree with him. So I've kind of taken that like Keanu Reeves, mentality toward it. Like, oh, you think 1 + 1 is 5? You're right. Great. Cool. See ya. Have a good day.
Yeah. I just stopped responding to people. And
that's what I do. It's like after a while.
It's like, I don't.
You're not changing mine. I'm not changing yours.
Yeah. I don't feel the need to defend my position. I already made it. Legitimately, the comic book is better than the show. And a lot of it, people are like, oh, you read it because of the show. It's like, I read it before the show. I read it because of Gary, of all people, because he was the one who was, I won't say hyping it up, but I mean, he's obviously in it. He's friends with Derek, who is the illustrator. But yeah, I mean, it's a good comic. It's edgy and goofy. But the main thing you got to understand, it's first off, it's taking the piss out of superheroes. It is a deconstruction kind of. But really what's going after is celebrities and corporations. And that's the thing that's lacking from the show. They made it more about politics, which of course, like if you're an anti-Trumper, then you're gravitating towards it. And the funny thing is people are like, oh, they're just figuring out that they're going after you. It's like, no, dude, we knew this since season 2. All right. It's just that Kripke got pissed off that because people started loving Homelander
because we were cheering him on.
Yeah. Because of season 3. Anyway, Kripke's a fucking retard. Whatever. We do have some roll rants. Let me get to those right quick from our supporter, Pinochet. Okay, let's celebrate anti-communism and Juneteenth. On this day in history, in the year 1953, the communist Rosenbergs were executed by the federal government at Sing Sing for espionage. The commie tax, indeed, the commie tax. The only good commie is a dead commie, that's for sure. Chief Fakes, why do you people even accept it? Why isn't everyone calling the media types outright effing liars? Well, they are, man. And it's the reason why we're talking about the whole thing with appropriating their word, because they hate it when that happens. They're fucking liars and clear enemies of the people. I demand a disassociation of these elitist unhumans. Well, yeah, I mean, we know that it's fucking bullshit. That's the thing about it. That's the thing that makes it great, is that we know it's bullshit and we're going to use their bullshit against them, which is, what you need to do. Okay, he's not gone. It's all an act to avoid accountability. He's fine. Don't let him use some lame excuse to skate. No reason the 2020 winner would need to get out. I demand Biden stay in the race. I do too, because
he's the floor with Trump in the debates.
Oh hell yeah!
Clean the floor.
Well, he's now asking for a chair for the whole debate.
I know, that's fucking hilarious.
That will not look good.
And 2 commercial breaks.
I don't buy him acting. It just
no, you can't have that blank of a stare.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times where that it's like nobody's fucking home, man. I don't know. I mean, if he is, then he's one hell of an actor at 81.
I think that honestly, he probably wouldn't be half as bad as he is right now. I mean, he was bad going in,
Yeah.
but like the amount of pressure that the presidency puts on anybody. I mean, you look at any president that went into office and came out the other side, and they aged
Oh yeah.
so fast. So I mean, you put
Look
in
at Obama. Obama's a good example of that.
Oh yeah, he's a great example. All right,
Came out with gray hair.
Now put Joe Biden, who is already mentally cognitive in a cognitive decline going in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him now. It's no one's home. The guy's checked out, and I almost feel I would feel bad for him, but I mean, like clearly this man was a villain from the very beginning. You look at his family; they're all villains. You look at the people that he surrounds himself with; they're all villains. I mean, you know what? In a way, he kind of deserves it. So,
well, okay, it's one of two things. If there's two ways of looking at it. If this is fake, and he's putting on the "I'm not fit" to avoid accountability, then he's not fit to serve. This is something we've all been saying. At least I've been saying. If he's a doddering old man, he's unfit to be president. If he's unfit to be prosecuted, he's unfit to be president.
Exactly.
That's the way you look at it. So it's going to be a double-edged sword, and I think we would win either way. If he's unfit to serve, if he's unfit to be prosecuted, unfit to serve, if he is faking it and he's doing this to avoid accountability, then he needs to be held accountable. So either which way.
Well, and you know exactly how bad it is now that the news is now saying, well, in the debates, all Trump really has to do is get through a sentence and show that he's alive. It's like, there's your projection. That's what they think of Biden, because that's what they're saying about Trump.
Yep.
Well, the other thing, too, is like, they're trying to – there's a situation where Trump was on stage and he goes to shake his son's hand, and they're like, see, he's being led off stage. It's Trump who's really not mentally there. And then you see the video where he goes and shakes hands with his son, and then he walks off. Yeah. And it's like, wow. I mean, this shit. I mean, it's like these people know what's going on. They're legitimately lying is absolutely fucked up. And Roland Rich says, leave Britney alone. Let's see. Pinochet's Heck Tour says, yes, panel. There is something unique in the age of social media. After the bump stock ruling, the ATF dumbasses subjected themselves to thousands on X telling them to, I quote, get absolutely fucked. Yeah, that was a good thing that they overruled that because, that ban was horseshit. Can you imagine the power of ruthlessly brigading and absolutely humiliating people who deserve it? And mind you, the whole of power federal agencies in one fell swoop in the 1920s, 60s, and 90s.
The ability to do that with the internet.
Yeah.
And social media. Yeah.
Yep. That's very true. I mean, that's the beauty of what we have here with social media is that it's really easy to hold people and agencies and the government and celebrities and politicians accountable by calling out their bullshit. At the same time, it's really easy to spread bullshit at the same time. But that's the thing. It's not illegal to lie. It's not illegal to misrepresent things unless you're under oath. So there's that.
Yep. We got a mod birthday.
We do?
Happy birthday, Eric Maldonado.
Oh, happy birthday, Eric.
Turned 20.
All right. Another year, he'll be old enough to drink. But he's 2 years past being able to own a firearm.
Yep.
And he's 2 or 3 years away from being able to rent a car in his own name. And 6 years away from getting off of his parents' health insurance.
Yeah. Hey, man, health insurance is expensive.
Yeah, I know. I have to pay my kids until they're 20 freaking 6.
You can't afford a home now. I mean, it's so outrageous. I mean, I'm just like, my mouth's been dropping every time I look at the listings.
Yep. There's another video I want to play back to the, again, with the cheap fakes, as they're putting it. I love this video from Gutfeld, which is pretty interesting. Alrighty.
Gutfeld's been on fire lately.
Yeah, this is fucking fire.
It's playing in the background.
Oh, hang on. Let me rewind that because I realized I did not switch it over. All right.
There
and
we
here
go.
we go.
Out of context, where were these anti-hoaxers when there was the Fine People hoax, the drinking bleach hoax, the koi pond hoax, the migrant kids in cages hoax, the Border Patrol whipping migrants hoax, the lab leak is a conspiracy theory hoax, the Russian collusion hoax, the Don't Say Gay bill hoax. Did I leave any? The P-tape hoax. Where were they? There's a difference. When we see something, we vet it. The media does not, because they're the engine behind their hoaxes, as long as they go in one direction. The Dems and the media are lucky we don't match their dishonesty. We could, we don't. We don't have to, because basically we don't have to make up crap. Apparently, though, they hold us to a higher standard than they hold themselves. Only they can cheat because they believe they have a moral high ground, and that moral high ground allows them to do anything immoral they want. They can call you Hitler, they can interfere with elections, they can wage unprecedented lawfare, they can say you're banning books, they can say you're xenophobic, they can say you don't have any compassion for the poor or the homeless, they can say anything. They can lie because they have the moral high ground. The most dangerous person is one who excuses their bad actions in the name of the good, especially when the good never materializes.
Very well said, Greg.
Thank you, Jesse.
They can say anything, Sandra. But the one thing they haven't said is...
Yeah, it sucks that gets cut off there. I'm kind of curious what he had to say.
Right.
I'm sorry for what we did when we shut everybody down.
I guess.
That would be nice.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
We're wrong.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
So sorry. I'm sorry. Super sorry.
I had to write an article around that video because Greg Gutfeld brought up a really, really great point. Phenomenal monologue, but I think the underlying thing he was complaining about is effectively Alinsky's tactics, because that's what the media is doing.
Mm-hmm.
They are attempting to isolate, they are attempting to ridicule, and they are attempting to get you to believe that the other person is so horrible that you have to reject them if you are to live up to your own morals.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Trump being the specific attacked, or the guy who's most attacked, and look at the way they're trying to destroy his reputation all the time. And now look, he's a convicted criminal. How could you vote for a convicted criminal? Blah, 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 blah.
Very easily.
But it's not just Trump. It's all of MAGA. It's the January 6th. I mean, that's why it's an insurrection, not a riot. That's why everybody's a fascist who votes for Trump. Because if you can get that label to stick and everybody's a Nazi, then you don't have to fight them morally, because you have to defeat that evil.
Right.
Well, the other thing too, I think part of the problem, and this is where the normies are wising up, is that these words and labels that they try and use just don't fucking matter anymore.
They don't have any meaning.
Yeah, I mean, you call somebody racist, and it's like, okay, what does that mean? Nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah, you've destroyed the meaning of the word.
Yes.
And that's the problem, because there's people, it's like, well, maybe they're just actually racist or bigots. And it's like, you think maybe you just overused the word.
And I think the problem is like after a while, they've called everybody racist at this point. I mean, CRT effectively paints the entire country as racist. And if I'm sorry, if everyone's racist, then no one's racist at this point. It's like, now it's like, oh, well, you're calling that, you just called me one. If you're calling me one and I'm not, and you're calling that guy one and he's not, he might not be. I mean, like, after a while, people start to
you're a racist. Can't we all be racist? Wouldn't you want to be a racist too?
The people that are supposedly most affected by the racist, the black vote is going towards Trump.
Yeah.
It's up there in a huge way. I mean, he's not going to win a majority. We all know that. But taking 8 to 10% is
when you have like
going to destroy the Democrats.
When you have like one of the members, the founding members of the Black Panther Party saying they're endorsing Trump.
Yeah.
You know the Democrats have lost the fucking plot at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
look at it. Detroit. Did y'all see the Detroit video? And then you saw
first time a president's come to what did he call it? The ghetto or the wrong side of the tracks or whatever. Yeah,
So that basically is
Obama
what
never
Trump-
did that. Biden never did that. Thank you, President Trump, for coming to this area. I can't remember the wording he used, but yeah.
And
He went to
then
the black
what
churches,
happened? Okay.
though, didn't he? Weren't there a lot of black churches that were in that rally?
Yeah.
I think there was it a bunch or was it one?
It was a bunch, I thought. But
Oh, okay. I mean, it might have been. I only saw him at one, but and then he went into AOC's backyard, which is
Oh yeah,
Democrat
yeah, I
heavy.
saw that.
The Bronx.
All right, and he was God. The amount of people he attracted there was pretty crazy. And here's the interesting thing about that. I thought this was really, really scary if you're a Democrat. Many of these people who were there did not say that they were Republican now. They still identified as Democrat, but they were voting for Trump.
Right.
Right. I mean, if I had a Democrat that loved the Constitution, protected our 2A rights, did all that stuff, and wanted to shrink the size of government, okay. Right. If they went out and actually did it, even better. Right. The label Democrat or Republican doesn't matter to me, because all those labels create is the division that keeps this country exactly where the elites want us to be.
Yeah.
At each other's throats.
Jeff Charles actually had a really good tweet kind of about that today. Let me see if I can dig that up.
I'm like in his fourth circle on Twitter. I feel pretty bad. Because he's got all these great people and all this stuff, and then me.
Really?
Yeah, and I responded back to him, what did you do wrong?
That's fucking funny.
But that's another side effect maybe of social media, the amount of division. Because even amongst the politicians, they used to be at least able to have a conversation. Now they have a conversation in the media.
I think that yes, you're not wrong. I think that there has been a definite shift in the way that we communicate with one another. Not communicate, but perceive one another, thanks to the age of the internet. We have now gotten braver about being assholes. You know?
Oh yeah, 'cause before when you would never pull that shit off in front of somebody because they'd clock you.
They clock you, right? Exactly. You'd get punched if you said some of the shit that people say online to each other in person. You know, and so that's made people misunderstand how tough or brave they actually are. But I think that because people like, there's nothing you can't clock that person. All you can do is fire back, and it's
you just keyboard warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, you keyboard, but it's caused people to go to their corners, you know, and they are now like, and they dig in, man. You can't like you said earlier on X, you know, like you don't go there for an argument, you know, you're not going to be moved.
Yeah.
There's no discussion anymore. It is I'm right, you're wrong. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can go there for an argument. You're not going there for a debate or a discussion.
Right. That's the key thing is you're going there to
go there
basically
for entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, what I do like about what Elon Musk has done with X as a platform is there was a guy that used to be on the street corner, the building I worked at in New York, and he had a sign that says, "Yell at me for 5 minutes, $10." Right? So people go up, give the guy $10, just unload on this guy and walk off. Elon Musk purchased Twitter and said, yell at anything, anyone, and all that stuff for $8.
Yep.
Right. And now he's got these pro stuff here that you've got to do, and he's moving some of these features he had with that over. He's going to make a ton of money off of Twitter doing that. So, because the other social medias just don't compare. Minds is trying. Rumble is getting better. Odyssey was a great video platform. Too bad they got tied into that crypto fiasco. But I don't want to go on Instagram. I don't Facebook. I get Facebook so I have Messenger so I can communicate with my parents. That's about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even have a Facebook account anymore.
Right. And
Mine's basically I permanently suspended it.
yeah. And there's just too many of them. And people are going to find their favorites because why is there not just one car manufacturer?
Yeah.
Because people want to be different. I mean, Oklahoma sells more trucks than anybody else. They sell more Fords than they do Chevy. One of my very good friends who I got to see this weekend, is a Chevy guy, likes Corvettes and likes the Chevy trucks. Personally, as a Ford guy, I have just a lot of respect for him for being able to get any of those Chevys to run. But but we have jokes and fun about that. He loves his Corvettes. I like the Mustang Fastbacks. It's just we're different, and you're allowed to be different. You're allowed to go out trying to get your Corvette and your Mustang to go fastest on a quarter mile.
By the way, Tox, you can go fuck yourself.
What? You have a Jeep?
No, it has nothing to do with vehicles. I just saw what you posted, you dick.
About what? Oh, no, I did not do that. Release the McCracken did that. If that's what you're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that is Lewis the McCracken, not you.
But you are welcome for me accentuating it.
But with the streaming platforms and stuff, I mean, it's kind of why socialism and communism don't work. You have to have competition to get things to improve.
Yep.
With the streaming platforms, Rumble's now brought out their own studio. I mean, it's been around for a few months, but that's an innovation that that YouTube, they kind of have, but Rumble's doing it more like what we actually use. I mean, if you don't have competition, things get stagnant. Nothing gets innovated, because what's the point? You've already got something that works. Why try to?
Well, I mean, if you're
the
Mark
only one in the
Zuckerberg,
field,
if you're Mark Zuckerberg, you just buy the company.
you just buy any innovation. Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much. I want to share this real quick, in that there's a great meme of you. Before we jump into what Jeff posted, we need some history, because Hotep, one of the Hoteps basically posted this. If the Black Ghetto and the white trailer parks ever linked up, they could get this country back in proper order in no time. Both groups have been brainwashed into falsely believing the other hates them, while the elites profit from hating them both. Pretty fucking accurate, I have to say. And then Hip Hop Liberation replies back, respectfully disagree. The white trailer park largely subscribe to white supremacy and willingly accept being tools of white supremacy, as long as they can believe they are better than black people, regardless of if black people in the ghetto are not. Jeff posted this. This is fantastic. This is really fucking on point. This is this is part of the problem, and why it's easy for the media to divide us. They get black folks thinking that most regular white folks are trying to do white supremacy, when in reality they're focused on feeding their families and making ends meet. They got white folks thinking most regular black folks are thugs and criminals, when in reality they're focused on feeding their families and making ends meet. They prey on our lack of knowledge and what other folks are dealing with, and use it to pit us against each other, while we are focused on demonizing groups of people. The elites continue amassing more power at our expense. That is like 100% on fucking point.
Yeah. No, he's right.
Oh, we're focused on D's nuts.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And speaking of, there we go. Speaking of D's nuts, we have Brandon Walsh.
Oh my God. What's fucked up is that I would not have even noticed that there was a difference. I would have thought that it was just someone posting Matt Walsh's face, unless someone pointed it out.
Yep.
Welcome to the party, pal.
It's now part of the lore.
Yes.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's now part of the lore. Yeah.
And now Brendan hates anime.
Well, yeah.
No. I just think that it turns people gay.
It's just satanic.
Oh, okay.
It's just satanic. Yeah.
It turns people gay.
Yep.
Also, I'm really bad at Smash Brothers all of a sudden.
Yep. But great at Mortal Kombat.
Are you basically replacing all your children's toys with wooden blocks now, Lincoln Logs?
Yes. Actually, no joke. I'm totally gonna give myself Lincoln Logs.
There's nothing wrong with Lincoln Logs.
I love Lincoln Logs. Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
Blocks were fun.
Oh yeah. No, I'm trying to get my son into the big Lego blocks right now. You know.
Just as long as you don't step on them.
No, the big
aren't
ones.
as bad
Big
as
ones
the
you can step
little
on those
ones.
all you want, and they're fine. But
It's f-
I can't wait till we get into the Lego age too, man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because Release from the Kraken says comics didn't read the hashtag. I didn't see the hashtag.
Wait, hang on. Let me.
It says, "What is a midget?"
Midget.
A partially grown adult human.
Or a fully grown dwarf.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that whenever Mad Bar gets on, he always refers to them as LPs.
Yeah. Oh,
like-
he loves LPs.
Yeah, so does Tom for some reason.
He giggles like a schoolgirl every time he sees one.
Yep. Pinochet's helicopter tours. You know what? Other labels stick. Enemy. Have you ever actually told someone to their face you consider them an enemy? We have freedom of association, and I refuse to have anything to do with the enemy. I mean, enemy is not a word I throw around lightly. I think a lot of time when people say enemy, they really mean adversary or someone who's adversarial. Very few people are like the enemy to me. I would consider Soros an enemy. Same thing with what's his nuts from the WEF, Klaus Schwab.
Mr. Schwab.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like legit, dude's a fucking Bond villain. I mean, come on,
Bill
real
Gates.
life Bond villain. Bill Gates, yeah, enemy. Anyone who's actually actively trying to destroy your life, your livelihood, yeah. People who don't like you, I don't fucking care. Not my enemy. They're just an annoyance. Randall says, comment, Toxic Man Flu is a great producer. He's awesome. This may be a cheap fake.
I was going to ask how Tox got Randall's login information.
Yeah. Yeah, you have your answer.
You're muted, Tox.
He might be muted for a reason. Okay.
There we go. I did
All right.
that.
Peach has
Randall's
helicopter tours. Flat out wrong. The reality of the situation is that when things pop off, and they will pop off, the only thing whites and blacks will be fighting over is the best firing position on the elites. That's good. Deeple 101, how much of this do you keep on Rumble Comics? Also, Tox, can you put the channel names on everyone? I'm on the Forever Struggle bus, figuring out who everyone is besides Belle, the flower never talks. Yes. Okay, so everything that we stream on Rumble stays on Rumble. Wednesday primarily is Rumble, even though we do have a channel for yelling up parked cars. But as far as people go, I will highlight them and show you them. This is Brandon Morris. He works for Red State. Great journalist. I guess you're not a journalist. You're a commentator, as you put it.
Yeah. Don't label me with that dirty shit.
Opinion writer.
Opinion writer. Of course, this is
I got some
Bromable.
opinions, damn it.
He drinks.
He nuked himself.
He did.
Trying to highlight me, he nuked himself.
Oh,
Yep, so here's Brandon Morris. Hi, everybody. There's Brandon.
You apparently
Nuked
hit back
yourself.
or something.
No, I didn't.
Surprise! It's Matt Walsh.
Yeah. It's Matt Walsh all along.
And I was playing a video game. Damn it. He's not going to like me.
Walsh
Yeah,
has
so-
joined
some-
Project Veritas.
Something
He's
like froze
infiltrated.
up on my end. I have no idea. It basically did what happened on Monday.
I'm Bromable. I drink bourbon and talk. I'm on different shows every single night, so yeah.
Well,
And
I mean,
am on Rumble and on YouTube.
The funny thing about it, that's basically what I introduced you as. I said, this is probably he drinks bourbon.
And I occasionally spout one-liners.
Yeah.
Typically about Ashley Biden lately.
Well, those are
Did you
good
guys see
one-liners
the
to have.
Father's Day thing?
No.
It was a Father's Day note from Ashley Biden to Joe that said, "Make sure to shower your father with love on this Father's Day."
Oh, no.
Wow. Oh my
It was
God.
fake, of course, but
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
it was
yeah. I
hilarious.
figured that is hilarious. Yeah, emphasis on shower.
Shower.
Yep. Oh man, it's like, what else is going on in the world besides the cheap fake stuff?
Well, I gotta tell you, my brain just died. Right, I just Joe Biden the fuck out. Oh, reparations. Reparations is on everyone's mind.
What?
Yeah, did you? In Chicago, did you not hear?
Mm-hmm. It's already
Chicago.
happening. In
Chicago
Evanston.
mayor, who's also his name is Brandon, has decided that he is going to start pushing reparations, because for all the black people in
Because
Chicago.
he's losing their vote.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think that he's becoming wildly unpopular, and so he's going to try to buy votes by giving money to black people, and on top of that, white people get to pretend like, they're guilt-free now. They've paid penance.
Most of that white guilt does exist in Evanston, Illinois, and Chicago, and that's a suburb of Chicago. So most of that's there.
Yeah, but do you think the 30,000 a year in makeup was kind of off-putting?
Oh yeah, he spent $30,000 in campaign funds for makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And then
you've gotta
his
see the
reasoning
videos
was,
of-
I've gotta go to local shops and stuff and spread the money around in local businesses.
Wait. Who is he buying the makeup for? Himself?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's makeup,
What?
it's the barber shop, it's all of it.
Okay.
Mayor Scarecrow before him, she spent a couple $100,000 on hair and makeup during COVID.
And broke her
said,
own
well,
rules and went to the...
Yeah, broke her own rules. I have to look good for the cameras.
Yeah. And she still looks like Beetlejuice.
She did. None of that changed. So...
Nope.
John, I think that the concept of reparations at this point, though, is evil.
It's a little late, I would say.
It's not just it's. I think it's downright evil. I mean, like you're blaming people who have never owned a slave.
Yeah.
And are, by and large, against slavery. All right, and you're saying you're at fault for something that happened hundreds of years ago. All right, and I mean, like and on top of that, let's break down this logic for just a second. All right. Not everyone in America owned a slave. In fact, the vast majority of people in America didn't own a slave.
Yeah.
It's like single digit percentages.
It was only the rich people who could own slaves, and they were mostly located in the South on plantations. All right. And most people in the South did not own slaves. They weren't rich enough to own slaves. They couldn't house them. They couldn't feed them. They had no reason to have them. There were many people in the South who even fought in the Civil War who were against slavery. The only reason they were fighting was because they were fighting for their home.
Yeah.
Right.
But according to the left, they were fighting for slavery. But okay.
Yeah, that's because everything has to be black and white. Nuance is not allowed here.
Yeah.
But it's also boiling it down to skin color. You're also saying that all the people whose families paid in blood to fight against slavery during the Civil War, they didn't pay enough. They now have to pay thousands of dollars because of something that happened to some people a long time ago. Some of the people who are here now that are black, they didn't have ancestors in the Civil War.
Exactly.
Either.
No
Many
connection.
people many people arrived in this country well after the Civil War.
No connection to it. Well, but they're trying to, the way they weasel it is saying, oh, well, they benefited from it. They benefited from the oppression. And I think that ultimately the issue, it's like, what are you wanting? Okay, a public acknowledgement that this was a thing. It's like, we've already done that
a billion times.
Like fucking,
The 1619 Project, that's its main argument. Like, even if you had nothing to do with slavery, you still benefit from it. But I'm sorry, nuh-uh.
The head of the NAACP, I believe it was it her or somebody who was in Black Lives Matter movement. They traced back her lineage to being one of the original 100 people in the Mayflower, right? And her ancestors owned slaves, so she'd be paying reparations to herself.
Yeah.
But
Well, one
she
of the
wouldn't be paying
things, if what they were trying to do, if they're saying, okay, look, we have a massive disparity of poverty amongst and people in the inner city, not just black. There's white people that are affected as well. If they actually went to trying to fix the problem, I would be completely fine with it, right? But that's the thing. Nobody wants to go and fix the problem of poverty amongst black people in inner cities. Nobody, wants to solve the problem with fatherlessness in black homes or, black families in the inner cities. Because obviously, hashtag not all, obviously. These are the things that need to be addressed in this country. Fixing the fucking problem. Why is it that the worst place to be black in is a democratic city that's run by a black person? Why aren't they working to fix these issues? Well, because they have no interest in doing it, right? It's the same issue with the white politicians. They know that if they keep people poor, ignorant, and whatnot, they will get votes. That is a universal thing amongst politicians. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. This is something that politicians want. They want to keep people ignorant. They want to keep them dependent on the system and divided as well, because it benefits them.
Yep.
Well, but even that is a bit of a narrative. The biggest problem facing the white community is also fatherless families.
Yeah.
All right. That there are more white, Caucasian skinned people, whatever you want to say, on welfare than there are melanin abundant people.
Well, that's a numbers thing too.
Right. Well, I understand that. But the African American community, and I like Morgan Freeman's thing. He said, "Don't call me African American. I'm not from Africa. I'm American."
Yeah, he's American.
Right? That's what I like about Jeff Charles. I mean, he has some bad cracker jokes, but beyond that,
I love his people
about
whiteness stuff.
People's
That
whiteness,
shit's funny.
I don't give a crap about the color of his skin.
No, I don't either.
It matters that we both want to be able to raise our families in a society where we can choose, where we don't have the totalitarian, authoritarian crap telling us what to do. And that's what the left's been doing. Well, left, right, God, I get fall in that trap too. That's what the elites have been doing for a long time. This is not a black-white issue.
That's ultimately what my point is, Tox.
It's a class warfare issue.
Yeah, it very much is. But the thing is, nobody wants to solve these problems, which is the problem.
Right.
Let's look at it this way. Because Randall Orser said something, well, I'm Irish. Where's my reparations?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here's the thing. And this needs to be understood. Every single person in this country went through a hardship. Every race went through a hardship of some kind, one kind or another. The question is, why is it that some races pulled out of it and some races did not? All right. By majority, I should say, percentage wise, why are black people by and large probably the most affected and the most poor, the most underprivileged? Well, what's the common factor between all of them? Government. It's government assistance. It's handouts. It's overtaxation. It's overregulation. All right.
Right.
I think that if you really want to help the black community, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leave them alone.
Let them do whatever they need, because there have been plenty of people come through with abundance of melanin who have really contributed to humanity.
Well, not just that. I mean, to highlight what Brandon was talking about, look what happened with Black Wall Street up to the point where it got wrecked by a bunch of racists. This is a perfectly good example of talking about with leaving black people alone and being perfectly successful. And that's the thing that ultimately pisses me off about the DEI stuff is basically you're saying that black people and women can't stand on their own merit when we all know they can.
Right.
It's like then
you're
if you
exactly doing that.
Yeah, you are the fucking racist if you believe DEI is necessary for black people, women, to get ahead.
Exactly. DEI is a racist concept.
Yeah.
It is, and it is an elitist racist concept that says you need my help in order to succeed because you can't do it on your own.
Right.
If I was a black person and someone said, "Hey, we're going to give you a leg up because you're black," I would be insulted.
Yeah, you should be.
Well, they were doing an interview.
All right, go ahead, Sally.
Oh, I was going to say they did an interview with this lady and asked her how business was going and stuff, and she said she was got a lot of grants and they were going well, and she appreciated the support. Well, basically, and then they asked her again how your business, or somebody else asked her about how her business was going, and again she went into, the grants she was given instead of, making this much money.
Mhm.
She's supposed to be running a business, not not a goal of getting grants, which is the same thing as when LBJ introduced the war on poverty in the 60s, which actually made it worse.
By the way, real fast, slightly off topic, but not. Have you guys seen American Fiction?
No, not yet. I want
No.
to.
Oh my God. Okay, so American Fiction is like probably the most accidentally anti-woke film I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mhm.
And it kind of tackles this very subject where like white leftist elitists just think that the black community needs their help so much, you know? And they are completely blind to their own racism and how they behave around black people. I recommend everyone go see that movie. It really does highlight so well how these elitists look at black people and how they pat themselves on the back like for treating them effectively like they need help, like they need
Mhm.
that leg up from these white elitists.
Right.
It's absolutely hysterical.
And the way
That's a
I look
comedy
at
that
it,
we need to do. Go ahead.
yeah, the way I look at it is the same way I'm looking at the trans and sports stuff. Women have to be the ones who start standing up and saying we're not going to take this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The blacks have to do the exact same thing in the black family and say,
No, this is
yeah,
something
the
I've said
fatherlessness
multiple times,
can't
right?
keep going on. They have to be the ones to fix it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is something I've been saying with anything when it comes to if we say it, they're just gonna say, "Oh, well, you're white and racist," right? It's like that change has to come from within those communities. I said the same thing about the gay community with the grooming stuff, with the trans stuff, with the the pride stuff. Because if we basically point something out and say, "Hey, I don't like this thing," they're gonna go, "Oh, you just hate the gay people." I fucking hate pride because I'm tired of this shipping, forced down my throat. No,
Because it's not a
pun intended.
celebration of the LGBT community either.
No, it's not.
It's
Well,
a celebration of LGBT activists forcing themselves on everyone, including
Yes.
politicians, the media,
Yeah.
and corporations. That's what it is. Sorry to
100%.
interrupt you.
No. I mean, you're spot on. It's the reason why last year everyone was jokingly calling it Pride Month, corporate virtue signaling month.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, because that's exactly what it is. Notice one thing that I saw last year when I get LinkedIn notifications is that literally like every single company logo had a rainbow. This year, it's like maybe 2 or 3 I've seen. Actually 4: Sony, Cisco, and a few others, which I'm not going to name because I'm tightly related to them. But it's like these companies didn't get the fucking memo.
Would that be Big Bear dildos or Gimp Suits Are Us?
They're always rainbow.
They're always
Dollar
rainbow.
Shop.
I mean,
Okay,
those are
sorry.
gay-owned companies, dude.
So
the
get
one
me-
the one I was referring to is
I thought you could get me a
Toxic
discount
Man
code
Flu
for
is
this.
Man Lube, which is
Oh,
one of
the
those
Man
companies. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I need
That one switched to rainbow colors for some reason. I don't understand why.
I have
Didn't
no
want to call
idea.
you out on stream, buddy, but here we are. You forced my hand.
Oh,
No, but seriously, it's like it's.
I get
I
it.
haven't gotten emails from like various companies because I'm on their mailing list because I buy stuff from them. PetSmart was a good example of that. Last year, PetSmart was selling a bunch of Pride shit. I think they still are, but it wasn't sent in an email. And it was like before June. So all the stuff I normally was getting last year that was annoying the shit out of me, I haven't seen it all. And I kind of wonder if it's mainly because of the Dylan Mulvaney backlash.
Right.
And
I'm sure a good portion of it is, but it's also just everybody's sick of it.
well, that's
And
the thing.
the comments are lit up. I'm tired of this pride thing. I mean, you'll
Mhm.
just see comment after comment, and I think the companies, they're seeing that.
You've got 3 to 4 years of these things.
It could
And
also
then they
be
run their course and you're done. with it.
Target even is scaling back, which
Mm-hmm.
is very, very telling.
They shouldn't be selling that shit to begin with.
Oh, they
in my
shouldn't.
opinion. It's like there are specialty stores that cater to gay people that sell this crap. It's like I'm totally fine with,
You're
with that
actually
stuff being
taking
sold there.
away business and jobs from the gay community by doing that. Target, you big old behemoth bullshit.
Here's another interesting fact: a lot of the
You're
gay
gay?
community does not celebrate Pride.
Yeah.
No.
Because
You
again,
know
it's
who
not about the
does?
gay community. It's not about
You-
them.
You're right.
You
You know
know.
who does? I've got a new culture. I hope you're watching because we're gonna do this on your show. We're gonna do it on Thursday Throwdown. Here we go. So this is a world premiere of what I've done so far to culture, and I'm not done. And the fist twists. Watch after this. It moves.
Oh no, I kind of feel like you're 19 days too late for that one.
No. What's it? Well, Juneteenth. All right. So they put Juneteenth in the middle of Pride Day, or they put Pride Month over Juneteenth. What the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? I want all my rainbow flags to be different shades of brown skin. That's what I want.
I completely heard that wrong.
Shades of gray.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you did. I get what you were saying.
You know,
Randall is correct. That's the double fist and twist. Yes, that's a dance that they used to do in the 60s, of course.
I also wonder if the fact that the last 5 to 6 mass shooters have been trans or part of the LGBTQ community has anything to do with it.
Did you see that they finally let the manifesto from the Nashville shooter out?
Yeah, and the
Did
guys
they
in
officially
jail.
release it? Because I know the Daily Wire had gotten more of the diary.
No, the
Yeah.
guy that had the original, the Star from the National Star,
Okay.
he's been threatened with jail.
For
Oh,
Wow.
For what?
Because
for
Doing
release.
his job.
Yeah, I mean it's legal for him to release it now, and yeah, they're just like, who? Where did you get this? Who was your source? So
Let's notice a pattern here.
Oh yeah.
Right? He's in trouble for releasing that manifesto. You have the FBI showing up at a nurse's house who worked at Texas Children's Hospital for exposing Medicaid
I
fraud,
saw that.
going toward gender affirming care for children. Because she blew the whistle. You had an investigation now happening from the DOJ against a doctor that worked at Texas Children's Hospital. So you have the literal like federal government coming down on people for exposing this whole transgender agenda thing, like going after if you threaten it at all, they're coming after you.
Look at the people that are in charge. I mean,
Hang on, guys, real quick. I'm ending the stream on YouTube, so head over to the Green Machine, folks. We're going to continue the conversation. Ending in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Hold on.
1. What?
links
so-
posted. Go for it.
All right. I sent it.